Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the light and love that is Unity of Lawrence. As usual, it's exciting to see all of your bright, shining faces here on this beautiful Sunday. In Unity, we begin everything with prayer. Please welcome Prayer Chaplain Karen Langsford to lead us in our special prayer.
Good, beautiful morning to you. Let's take a centering breath. And breathe into that heart space. We know we are connected through our heart space to the one presence, the one power in this universe. And through that presence and that power, we are connected with all beings. And we send our light and our love to brothers and sisters all around the world who are suffering, who are fighting, who are scared, who are facing with great courage the defense of their homeland and their way of life. We also send our prayers and our love to those who would stand up against and say "niet" to war. We know that war is no answer, and we know that love will win, and that light will dispel the darkness. And we stand firm in this, and we stand in the knowing that our love and the peace in our hearts spreads forth into this world a great light and a great love. Together we are more than just one, but where two or more are gathered, our effect is magnificent. And we thank God that this is so. Breathing in and breathing out, we know we are in the one. Thank you, God. So it is.
Thank you, Karen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with you one-on-one. If there's anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see a chaplain following today's service at the front of the sanctuary. And now please stand and join Holly in singing "Living in the Heart of God."
Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. And nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We sleep in dreams both deep and bright, sailing through the velvet night, refreshing the soul to the spirit's delight, living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Now we get to turn and greet each other with that handshake or a hug or hello. nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God.
And now it's time for our unity intentions. Please affirm with me unity's founding principle. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement. Together, united in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And now our Unity of Lawrence mission statement. Together, we are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. Now, please welcome our special music guest, John Keck.
It's so nice to be here again. It's a pleasure to be able to bring my mom. This is Mary Keck. She has a lot of input into my music, and I've written a few songs about her. But on the way here, she was asking for requests, and I said, "Well, there's a theme behind it, so I have some ideas already in mind, Mom." Yeah, I may have to take her request. I asked her to be a little bit careful about what she says. We're from Missouri, and we appreciate that we're guests here. And I thought I would play this song because of that. It's called Sunflower, and it's one that I wrote about love. And I was telling Holly I was thinking about the lyrics, and I'm not so sure that I agree with them anymore because it's something I wrote a long time ago, but it's something I think that can be reflected back on oneself. Most of the songs that I write, I use language that sounds like I'm talking about someone else, but often it's really just talking about myself. So please interpret this any way you like. Sunlight, it comes through the window and touches you on your face. And I know you're not pretending. Oh, you are full of grace. Oh, full of grace. Oh, full of grace. And I will wait for you, sitting at our table. That place you love. Oh, won't you meet me if you were able? Oh, won't you please dream of smiles on your face. Oh, I dream of you. Oh, yes, I do. Sunlight, it comes through the doorway. You carry it in your eyes. Oh, sunflower, I adore you more than you'll ever realize. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Jay Pryor is a speaker, author, and executive coach from Lawrence, Kansas, with over 15 years' experience in helping humans access their most authentic power. Jay's signature process and book, Lean Inside, uses mindfulness and neuroscience to create a powerful understanding of the human response and emotional intelligence required to be successful, connected, and happy in the world. Welcome, Jay.
I told them they could say, it's just Jay, but, you know. So thanks for having me back. I am Jay Pryor, and I'm a lay member of this congregation. Most importantly, I'm a truth seeker and a spiritual practitioner. And this is the, I think, fourth in a series of self-compassion. We've been talking about self-compassion as a spiritual practice. So last time I was here, I put you all on the hook for something. I like to say on the hook, which means I asked you to do this. So for those of you who are here, I want to start back there. One of the things I asked you to do between now and the last time I talked and this time is whatever area, especially if it's the area of your life that's hardest for you not to be cruel to yourself or where you have a lack of compassion, to just give up making yourself wrong. Like, just stop saying that you're wrong about it. And that was all that there was required. I just wanted you to do that thing, right? Just stop making yourself wrong. So I was curious if any of you have actually flexed your muscle around that, or if you just went, usually as humans, we go unconscious within about 3 days of the time we hear something, right? So we can go to a seminar and be so inspired, and we're going to change our lives. And then in 3 days, we'll be like, what did they say? So some of you might have gone unconscious, but I'm hoping that some of you might have practiced. So I'm just curious, is anybody just giving up yay, all right, Sharon, awesome. Of course, absolutely. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes. Robin? Good. Awesome. And any results that you want to share out of that? Anything shift, anything move, anything you want to share? No? Okay. But I appreciate that you're doing it. So we're talking about self-compassion as a spiritual practice. And what I want to share with you today is that, I'm here to share the good news, and that is that God loves you. He really, really, really does. Right? And that's how Jim Bakker used to start off all the time. And I just recently watched Tammy, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. And if you haven't seen it, you really need to watch it, because I'm telling you, it's a great story. And Tammy Faye was aligned like we are, the love of God, right? This woman, 100% clear, is one person who knew the love of God. Now, there was a difference between the way they share it and the way we share it, because we know we are God. So then that's different. Right? So we know, so God loves you. He really, really does. We know we love you. I love you. We love ourselves. We really, really do. And the practice of a spiritual practice of self-compassion for me is how to get there, how to get to the in alignment with it, how to get to feeling of it, how to know the juice of it, right? And so for me, I've asked you, and I've started, 4 sessions ago, we started talking about it. So I'm going to back up and just go over the premise, right? There's a couple premises I asked you to take on. So the first premise is to ground ourselves in lesson 2 of unity, right? And lesson 2, our second unity principle, our first, is that there's only one source in the world, and that's God, the source of all good. You don't have to use the word God if that freaks you out. You can say love, the source of all good, right? We can replace love with God anytime, and it works every time, right? So we can say there's only one presence in the universe, and that's love, the source of all good. And so there's only one presence that has to include me, which is our second unity principle. It can't be outside of me if it's all there is. It has to be within me, and it is all that I am. Now, I am not all that God is, but I am all this is God. So, therefore, right, I know somewhere in there that I am love and that my true nature is love. And I asked you to take on to ground ourselves in this unity principle and to ground yourself in that your true nature is love. And I told you that if you know me, that I could say my true nature is I'm a little salty, and you could agree to that. Right? Most people could agree to that. And the reality is my true nature is love. So to ground myself in that principle and practice grounding myself, right? Practice that. That's a practice for me. Because I'll forget, and that's what we do. We forget. So the second thing I asked you to take on is this notion, this overarching premise, that everything about you, your personality, the way you move your body, like everything that comes from your brain was wired up for your own safety. Now, for some of us who have had trauma, that safety literally might have been a physical safety. And every human, right, whether you've had trauma or not, you've wired yourself up to keep yourself safe, to avoid the fear. And the fear, we all know, comes from that notion that we are separate somehow from that love. So we got to stay grounded in that love because we're never separate from it. But boy, when we get in here, it sure seems like we are, right? So the notion then is in here, this is all for your safety. So if it's for your safety, then how can you not have compassion for that? How can you not have compassion for yourself if you did that just to be safe? So every way that you act out now and every way that you're stupid now, and I don't mean stupid intellectually, but like be dumb with people, like if I mess up with people, all those ways, right, we are things that keep us safe, right? And mine can be really embarrassing, right? I usually have to dive in and embarrass the hell out of myself before I go, oh crap, right? Like that's my personality. I'm big and I jump head in and I embarrass myself, then I'm like, oh God, right? But while I'm in there embarrassing myself, whatever's going on up here is real. And it is happening. And I'm responding to it. And so what I've learned is that the more compassion I can bring to myself around these things and then practice, that I'm starting to have incredible results in my life. And I'm becoming more and more aware of this notion that all it takes is for me to stop, breathe, ask, and then get back to that principle, and things happen, right? Miracles happen. Things happen to me that most people would forget about, but I know they're miracles because I like to watch the breadcrumbs. See, if you take on this practice, because it is a practice, like Sharon said, imperfectly, because you are human, so you will fail over and over and over again. But if you take it on as a practice, then you will have these moments that then you can start to gather evidence for. Because, see, that's what we do as humans. We gather evidence for all the things that this tells us. It tells us things like, I'm not good at relationships, so then we go gather evidence around all the people that we've screwed over and gotten screwed over by, and we're really terrible at relationships. Or we decide that we'll never be successful in a certain thing, no matter what, because we're not good enough. So no matter what we do, every time we start to try, we don't really try as hard as we could, or we don't go all out for it because we have all this evidence that says we're not good enough. And then see, look, I didn't get the thing, so I'm not good enough. We gather evidence for those things, but what I can promise you is if you start taking on this practice, right, a practice of self-compassion as a spiritual practice, you will start to have evidence that this alignment, that this truth, this all there is love, is real. Like, it's unbelievable. And for me, it happens mostly when I am in my head and I'm like freaking out and I can pause enough to make a choice. So I'm going to tell you a couple different stories that have happened to me over one, an older one, but a couple just recently. The first one that I can remember is one of my favorite stories. I shared it with my group. It was a long time ago, but I had rented a car. We had some work done on our car, so I had to rent a car, and the morning that I had to return that car, something happened at my home. A lot of you know me. I have a child with intense special needs, and I don't ever know what I'm going to wake up to every morning. So some days we wake up and it's not an easy day. And this morning it was not an easy day. And I remember being with my child and having him in a fit and freaking out. And I remember for myself having a moment where I could stop and take a breath and pause and channel love. And this is one of the first times I've been able to do this. This is a while ago, because I've been practicing this a lot, and I'm a lot better at it now. This is one of the first times, and I just stopped, and I channeled love, and I just took the time to be with this kid. Whew. And whatever happened, I don't remember, but then I went about my day, and I had to go take this rental car back. So I went and dropped off the rental car, and I got back home, and I realized that my garage door opener was in the car when I took it back. So I'm like, it's okay, and I'm already channeled love, so I'm like, things are always working out. I'm sure we'll figure it out. We get a new garage door opener. Big deal, right? So then I'm like, I've got all these errands to run, and they're timed. So I got to go to the bank. I got to go to this, blah, 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 blah. So I go to the bank, and I reach in my wallet, and my debit card is not there. And then I realized that my debit card is at the bar that I was at the night before. And I need this. I'm like, oh, man, this is going to just... So I turn around from the bank. The car that I rented the night before is sitting in the parking lot. There's a lady sitting in it, like her partner must have been inside, and I went and I said, ma'am, because I didn't want to scare her. I'm trying to stay away. Ma'am? She's like, yeah? I said, did you rent this car? She said, we just rented this car. I said, is there a garage door opener up there? She was like that. Yeah. I said, can I take that? It's mine. Okay, sure. Grab the garage door opener, put it in the car. I'm like, things are always working out for me. So I get in the car, and I know I left this thing over at this bar, and I look them up, and they're not open yet, right? There's a bar. This is like 10 o'clock in the morning. But I'm like, I'm just going to go over there because why not, right? So I drive over there. When I pull up, the owner of the bar is sitting out front smoking a cigarette. I get out of the car. I'm like, hey, I left my driver's license here last night, or my debit card here last night. And he goes, boy, are you lucky. I'm never here at this time. He goes, I just had this weird delivery that I had to cover and blah, 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 right? So point being, I'm 100% clear that in choosing that love lane, right, instead of going down my usual path, what I like to tell my clients is I took a different step in the dance, right? I did something different. By choosing that love lane, I put myself on a path that day was like a miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. And I've got millions of stories like this. Millions and millions and millions of them. I could draw up a lot. But my point is that every time that happens, right, every single time I can stop and choose love, I get signs, I get miracles, right? And I love to study this stuff, right? My favorite book in Unity, if you're new to Unity at all, if you haven't read H. Emily Cady's Lessons in Truth, right? This is like a primer for Unity students. But this book is the truth, right? This woman, H. Emily Cady, like she knew what was going on. And so one of the things that she says in there is don't read books. Like, don't read books. Don't read books. Just do intuit this stuff. And I'm not a huge book reader. I do intuit a lot of my stuff. But I love this book. And so when I start to get freaked out, one of my practices, because I want to make sure we talk about what practice is, one of my practices is when I get too much in my head and think that what's happening is real, I go back to the basics. I go back to H. Emily Cady. I go back to Charles Filmer, who told us, who we study and founded Unity, and is our truth student founder, right, who told us that our thinking is error thinking. And I don't know about you, but it's lit. And if you all use these Lenten books, I was a cradle Catholic, diehard Catholic, and so part of part of the ritual that I miss about my old faith is the ritual, right? So I get this Lenten book every year, and it's very handy. But one of the things that on March 10th reminded me of that we can also even go into the Bible to verify and listen to the truth, which is that we should never listen to this, right? So, and it's funny because Danica gave us this psalm the other day, and it was another pebble. I have a whole bunch of pebbles that have gotten me to this moment that I'm about to share with you. But it's trust in the Lord with all your heart, trust in the love with all your heart, and do not rely on your own insight. Do not rely on your own insight. I mean, it says it right there, right? Like everywhere we're being told, don't listen to this thing, right? And when you can catch yourself believing whatever it's telling you and stop and ask and step out and align yourself with love, I'm telling you that miracles happen. So the last one I want to share with you, because I'm going to ask you to go into meditation from here. So if you would go ahead and get comfortable where you'd like to meditate, because we're going to go into meditation. I had a day the other day when I woke up in fear. If I wake up into a lot of loud music, sometimes my nervous system is like already there. So this is one of those days where I woke up like that. And I don't remember what happened. We've had a rash of, neighbors getting their stuff broken a lot lately, and lots of things broken in the house and stuff. So that was what was happening. So I woke up into that one day, and it was just really, this was going crazy, and I was stressed about money, and it was all the things. And I was really angry. I was having a really hard time. So I went downstairs. I shook. I did my shaking like I showed you. I shook it off, and I asked, and I stepped out, and I asked for help. I asked to be the love, right? So I got calmer, and I went upstairs, and Jessica was still in bed, and I climbed above Jessica, and we're going to have a cup of coffee and just take a breath, do my reading. We have a Google Nest next to our headstand on my nightstand, and you can ask it to do anything. It goes, hey, Google, blah, 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 right? So I said to Google, I said to Jessica, do you think Google could play some Daniel Nahmod? Because music is a booster for me, right? Just even listening to John a minute ago got me right in my space to be able to be here right now. So music does that for me. So I said, do you think Daniel Nahmod could play on Spotify? So I said, hey, Spotify, play Daniel Nahmod. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, which is unusual because Google knows a lot. And Spotify, has everything. So that's what we have, Spotify. I'm sorry, we don't have that. I'm like, huh. I'm like, I was going to use Karen Drucker's song, Be Gentle With Yourself, because last service when she was here, it was 100% in alignment with what I wanted to share with you today. And I was like, I'm going to use that song. So I needed to look up the lyrics to the song, and I wanted to make sure I had it and all the things. So I'm in bed with Jessica, and I say these words. Well, I don't really want to hear Karen Drucker right now. I don't really even want to hear Karen Drucker right now, but if they don't have Daniel Nahmod, I wonder if they have Karen Drucker. I'm just curious. Hey, Google, play Karen Drucker. Now, those of you who know Karen Drucker, if you were to ask what's the most popular song that she does, you would think something like Thank You for This Day, right? Or Let Go of the Shore, right? You'd think Spotify would be like, that's what they're going to play. Instead, they played this song, which I'm going to first invite you to take a breath in and count for me. And however long you go in, I want you to just go longer out. So if you can breathe in 2, breathe out 3. If you can breathe in 4, breathe out 5. I want you to do that a few times into your heart space. Now, these words on this song can be a little cheesy for me. I'm going to ask you to listen to them and really think about if you've ever held a newborn baby, and if you haven't held a baby human, if you've held a baby puppy or a kitten, any newborn in my world is like the closest to source you can get. So So I get in bed with Jessica and I say, hey Google, play Karen Drucker. And here it comes. I think, well, that's nice. Piano music. I can take a breath and calm down to that. And about here is when I realize that this is the song that I had intended to bring you today.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a baby child.
As we start to come back into I'm going to invite you this week. Be easy with yourself. And go only as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. You are the one. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe. Thank you for having me here today. Thank you for allowing me to share that God loves you. He really, really does. Namaste.
Yay. I feel very quiet up here. Is everyone hearing me okay? Okay. Thank you. I think I'm going to do 2 in a row. Let's see. I've had some experiences in my life that have led me to believe certain things, and it's enabled me to believe for others in whatever they believe. It's a powerful skill, and I'm grateful to have found it. So when Jay was talking, I connected very much with that. In part of one particular part in the rituals that we have learned as children, and how they follow us in life, and the idea of practicing what we believe in. It's something I learned through yoga, that every day is a practice, and whatever we're doing is a practice. And music is certainly a practice, and I'm thankful as I sit here now thinking about this particular song that I'm going to play, how far along I've come in my ability to play music. And my mom has been a huge part of that, so I'm again thankful that she's here. This song is called Bonita, and it's one I sat down with and wanted to think about love and what it means to me specifically, and what I've learned. And one of those lessons that I've taken away from it is that we might have to become something new. We may have to go through a period of metamorphosis to truly love our life, another person, everything around us. It requires us to look at it differently if we're not finding it initially. And so this is where that came from. Some say some who wander may not be lost, that the heart is the compass and time is the cost. But how far should one go? Does anyone get to know? It feels like beyond no return. I've stood and I've stared at the vanishing stars. I've counted rare rubies on Mars, but nothing compares to the sun in your eyes. Mi bonita, mi amor, sempre. On this side of forever lives a beautiful dream. I hope you know to me that you mean everything. The sun from your eyes, the rest of our lives. Mi bonita, mi amor, mi sempre. Thank you. Thanks. It's so lovely to be here. I didn't want to stop playing that. I kind of got lost a little bit in the words. It's such an honor to get to perform in a sanctuary. My mom has been taking me to different beliefs all my life, and it's one of the great privileges that I have is that she has been so open to ideas of all people, and travel has been an important part of our um, of our connection in our life, and we share the love of travel together. And one of the great struggles that I've had in life is understanding time. And so this next song is about time travel. And it's never sat well with me because of a lot of just natural things that I observed that didn't quite add up for me. And when Jay was talking about pausing, it's a term I use a lot because I think it's something that people don't realize they're able to do. And nobody really teaches us that in school. So this song is about that. It's called Snow Globe, and it's about pausing and looking at everything around you and attempting to have universal insight and understand, as you say, God's love. And I use different words sometimes for that same idea, but it's a concept I think that hopefully you can appreciate in this song. And if not, maybe it's just a catchy pop song about theoretical time travel. But the main point of it is that before we make a decision on this is wrong, we're in a state of mind that is enlightenment, and you're choosing to absorb information, you're collecting it, and it doesn't have to end. It can be something that you just leave that environment and appreciate it differently than if you had frozen that moment. Oh, why don't we go back in time and spin the snow globe of our minds, and just in the moments before moments became frozen, where there was no right or wrong, and everything was a song. Everything is a song. Well, everything is a song. Everything is a song. 'Cause everything is a song. Rewrite the narrative of our storyline for future you and I to unwind. 'Cause inside of all of it, there's so much more than what we thought about when we were there before. 'Cause there's no right or wrong, and everything is a song. Everything is a song. Well, everything is a song. Everything is a song.
Thank you, John. As our ushers come forward for our time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and so it is. As the love offering is collected, let's join Holly in singing, There Is Only Love.
In this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
As our ushers come forward, here's our prayer of thanks. Please listen. We are grateful and bless the flow of good that supports our unity community. We bless the givers who give their time, talent, and treasure. We stand in knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again, and so it is. Amen. And now it's time for opportunities. First, a very special welcome to our guests today. Thank you for joining us. If you would like more information about Unity Movement and Unity of Lawrence, pick up a welcome packet in the lobby. If you'd like to use a credit or debit card today, please see Kathy in the office. The Lunch Bunch is meeting at Pampakino's at 837 Massachusetts Street. Join us for the fun. All are welcome. Our weekly meditation group meets on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. in the sanctuary. Everyone is welcome. Our activity committee is encouraging anyone with ideas or suggestions for meaningful activities that you would like to perhaps lead or participate in to submit those in writing to the activity committee chairperson, Phil Roger, or drop them off at the office. Sign-up forms and a short questionnaire are available in the lobby. Gary Frager, former music director at Unity of Lawrence, died on December 2nd, 2021. His 15 years of service to our church were very special to him. Susan and his family would like to invite his friends at Unity to a day honoring his life. The memorial service is on Wednesday, March 16th, 2 p.m. at Kanawaka Township Hall, 776 U.S. Highway 40, 3 miles west of 6th and Wakarusa, with the music celebration that evening from 6 to 10 p.m. at Johnny's West, 721 Wakarusa, southwest corner of 6th and Wakarusa. Information sheet is available in the lobby. Please join us next week as Sue Riley brings us special music and message by video, Who You Really Are. See you here. And now it's time to sing the peace song. It's time to sing the peace song.
Let's stand together as we sing the peace song. peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With